Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing out there? Welcome back to my channel, Intuitive Insights in Tarot. I'm Scott A. Yates. Welcome back if you're a regular viewer, and if you happen to be new and just finding me for the first time, thank you for being here. Hello, Sandy, first in the chat today. How are you? I just dropped a question in the poll, a poll in the chat here. So there have been people talking about uh, that they feel that days are have slowed down again since CERN started up. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Um, for me, the time always seems to go by fast, but if I'm honest, I think yesterday seemed to drag on longer. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna have to give it some more experience before I'm sure of it. Hi, Cherie, Tanya, MJ Squirrel. Got the regulars piling in quickly. Well, maybe not piling in. So let me just talk about a few things I wanted to talk about. Update on, and I made some notes here. Put them on my phone this time. Oh yeah. So if you listened to last week, you heard me talk about how my vertigo has mysteriously gone away. Something that's been concerning me for the past year was getting worse and worse and worse. First, let me back up and say that 20 years ago, I had a pretty serious motorcycle accident that I got I hit my head on the right side of my head, just above my ear, and knocked me out cold. I woke up in the hospital with amnesia. Something I didn't used to believe could happen, that you could get hit in the head and get amnesia. But yeah, it's pretty weird to wake up and not know, not remember the last 12 hours. I remembered who I was and things like that, but the the 12 hours leading up to that were gone. Eventually, over time, the memories came back, and um, there was someone who was there that night that helped, that didn't have amnesia, that helped me piece it back together. Um, but also, the other thing happened after that is I was pretty seriously messed up. Um, my head. Uh, a good 2 weeks after that, I could not walk a straight line. The vertigo was so bad, the broom would spin, especially when I laid down and turned my head. It, if you ever been, if you ever drink too much and had bed spins, that's what it felt like. Um, and gradually it went away, but it would come back in waves over the years. I would be okay for a while. I especially remember in 2012, right around the time that the the Mayan calendar was ending. I woke up one day with severe vertigo. It was very strange. Anyways, hadn't really been that bad a couple of years before, but it would still come back once in a while. But then when I came back from America last year, it was getting worse and worse and worse to the point where I was really starting to get worried that something was wrong inside my head. And then it culminated the day my mother passed away. So my mother passed away at 5:23 in the morning on Monday morning, uh, last week, or what's it been? 2 weeks now. Um, and so that was for me 4:30 in the afternoon, in the evening. Okay. So that day, that morning when I woke up before my mother passed away. So it was the whole day. So, and by the way, she was in the process, and there's something I can get to that. Anyways, that morning I woke up with the worst vertigo I'd had since the accident. Usually it goes away by 10 o'clock or 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Um, it subsides, especially if I get up and start moving around and stuff. This day it didn't. I remember it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was literally having to hold onto the walls to be able to walk. Then that evening, I got the news that my mother had passed away, and woke up the next day, and I had a clear head. I had no vertigo, and I felt great for the first, you know, better than I had in a long time. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm having a good day. But then the next day, no vertigo. The day after that, no vertigo. Now it's been 2 weeks. And not only am I waking up every day with a clear head, with a steady stride, but feeling really good too. I feel great. I feel better than I have in a long time waking up in the morning, but mainly the vertigo being gone. And you know what? I'm going to pull some cards on that right now because I talked to my sister about this, and she said, and the other thing is talking to you guys, I'm telling you, I've told you before how I haven't been grieving the way you would expect to be grieving when your mother passed away. And I attribute that to my father. When my father passed away 15 years ago, he came and communicated with me in so many ways, both telepathically in my head, dreams, physical manifestations that happened both at my home and in my home in Florida. And other people in the family reported all kinds of strange things. So I came away from that experience with this. For me, it was like firsthand knowledge that death of the body does not mean the passing away of the consciousness and the soul. And it was like, for me personally, it was proof that we continue on after our bodies stop existing. Um, and that gave me a confidence that I'd never had before. So when I found out that my mother was terminal 3 years ago, I took it in stride. And plus, you know, she was 82 at the time, 83. And so she had a long, you know, fulfilling life. So there was nothing to be sad about there. Uh, she she didn't have any unfinished business in her life. So a very successful life. Um, and then so I thought, well, maybe when she actually passes away, I'll feel it. But I'm telling you, and I don't know if I'm supposed to feel guilty about this, but never that I never shed a tear. I In fact, there's like a sense of happiness that I got from her passing away. And yeah, it's really strange. Anyway, I was telling you, I was talking to my sister, and she said, "Oh, you were carrying anxiety and stress that wasn't conscious. It was inside, and so it manifested in the vertigo." But see, I don't think that's what it was because I wasn't grieving, and I'm not grieving. I'm celebrating my mother's successful run in this life that she had. Um, so what I think it was is a mother's connection with her son, especially because I was so far away from her for so long. and she was always reaching out to me on a spiritual level, on a psychic level, and our consciousnesses had been intertwined because of that, and also because of what I do. I'm often connecting with source. I'm connecting with the Akashic. I'm connecting with the unity consciousness just by what I do all the time, my job, doing tarot card readings. So I was, um, oh, and my mother had a great deal of trepidation about death and dying. And so I think that vertigo that I was picking up was her internal anxiety and fear and disorientation that she was going through the dying process. So then when she passed over, and by the way, I did a reading 24 hours before she passed. I thought to myself, because all of us were wondering when it's going to happen. I figured, let me see if I can check with my cards 24 hours beforehand. And the first card I drew was the Seven of Cups, which is a card of fear, confusion, disorientation, altered states, out of body experiences, things like that. And so that would be like the vertigo that I was getting. Uh, so this is what I think. I think that she had intertwined her consciousness with mine, and that my vertigo was a result of that. Okay. But I'm curious. I just want to ask the cards. Sandy says you've had vertigo for years. I do know about the crystals in the ear that cause vertigo, and yeah, it could have been that, and that's why I'm going to check with the cards. So this is just something I'm doing it for myself. I told my mom, one of the last things I said to her before she passed away, I said, "Hey, listen, I'm going to give you a couple of weeks to settle in, and then I'm going to check on you with the cards. If you're able to and you want to give me a message, that would be great. So I'll do that too. But first, I want to see if the vertigo that I was experiencing was what I think it was, that our consciousnesses were connected at that time. And that's what I was picking up on. Okay. So indulge me, if you will. Follow along with me as I explore my own experience here with the cards. And I'm just looking for, was it physical, or was it a psychic, spiritual connection? So what was the cause of my vertigo, and why did it stop the way it did? That's the question. And I'm looking for something that would connect it to my mother. Okay, so for wow, it's the same freaking card. This is the same card in the same position that I pulled. So that's a confirmation for me. Now, if I get a Queen of Cups, it's really going to blow my mind. There's that connect. This is the connection. This is the connection on the astral plane. Oh man, I got goosebumps. Four of Cups. I'm sorry, Four of Swords, and Knight. So absolutely. And then the Knight of Pentacles, that's me becoming grounded again after the connection was finally severed. When her consciousness, when her earthly consciousness finally left her body, which is indicated here in this Four of Swords. I mean, this is literally a tomb, right? So I mean, it's depicting a dead person. But yes, okay, I got my confirmation, and my sister doesn't seem to want to accept this. Maybe because it means that I had a special connection with mom, and I don't know. But my sister doesn't seem to want to accept this. But I am now completely convinced that my mother was psychically connected to me during her passing. Okay. And then now I want to reach out to my mother here with you guys and see if she is ready to give me any communication. First, I'm going to ask her if she wants to. If she wants, I think if she was here in person, she would say, yeah, she would be willing to do this. But let's see if she's in the place where she's at now, if she wants to give me any messages. And I'll do that by drawing the first card and see what it looks like. That's the Hierophant. I'm going to take that as a yes. There's so first off, she wants me to know that she's with her entire family. They're all together, especially my dad is there with her. So, to give you an explanation, the Hierophant is a card that symbolizes traditional family values and like hierarchy of a family. Okay, so she's telling me that she's there with all of her beloved ancestors that she knew. Magician and the Eight of Swords, Ace of Swords. So, my mother never could understand the um, spiritual teachings that I tried to offer her over the past 40 years. She never understood any of it. And even now, she's having a hard time with the new, with all the information. Because once you've passed over, you have access now to all the information. Even now, really, she's not interested in that stuff. Um, for her, the most important thing is the reunion with her family and being free of the struggles the of the physical world. Um, we didn't have a terrible life as a family, but we always struggled to pay the bills and things like that. So having the relief of that. But as far as like knowing the answers to all the conspiracies and stuff, she's not interested in all that. It's only about family and being reunited with family, and especially my father. And one thing, a message she's sending me here, that she's able to have an emotional connection with my father there that she wasn't able to have in the physical realm. Okay. So I'm curious what's anyone to say about vertigo. I've had several clients tell me that they were suffering, have been suffering from vertigo as well. Sandy, over a week. Okay, so um, that's another good question. I'm curious if you guys have had vertigo. So I'm going to start another question here. Am I allowed to do more than one? Maybe not. Let me see. Can I do another? Nope. Okay, I have to end one poll to start another one, so I'm not ready to end that one. So I'm not going to do that. Okay. So that was an interesting read for me. And if you would like to ask for a contact from one of your loved ones who passed away, I'd be happy to do that for you. All right, and I want to check the poll here. It looks like it's pretty much 50-50. Oh, this topic reminds me of something else. It doesn't allow me to see it very full, I mean. What's wrong with this view? Where's the poll? I don't see it here. Okay, there it is. So 60% of you say yes. Okay, that's interesting. Uh, I think I found a new Mandela effect. So, have you ever heard of the movie The Blair Witch Project? It came out in 1999, and that movie was especially um, memorable for me because I was hiking the Appalachian Trail when the movie came out, and we stopped off in a town, a bunch of us, like 10, 10 hikers, got off the trail all to go see that movie. And those are just the ones I knew. The audience was full of hikers because we were on the Appalachian Trail. All right, Tanya, I'll get to your question. Um, And so the audience was full of hikers, and the movie is about these three young people that get lost in the woods and they complain about being hungry. And we all thought that was hilarious. And it was also really funny because 50% of the people believed it was a true documentary that was being made. And I happen to know that it was fake because I heard about the filmmakers before it came out. So, I remember very clearly at the end of the film. Spoiler alert, it's a 22-year-old movie or 25-year-old movie. So at the end of the movie, one of the guys gets like possessed by the witch or whatever and is standing in a corner, and a camera falls and it lands on the guy, and the guy turns around and just looks at the camera, and the movie's over. That's the way I remember the movie ending. So, out of boredom the other day and nostalgia, I watched it again. The ending did not match anything like I remembered it did. So, um, felt like a Mandela effect to me. I'm not going to draw cards on it though. I just wanted to mention that. Have you noticed any new Mandela effects? Share them in the chat if you have. And Tanya, I'll do this question for you. Your late paternal grandmother sending divine messages lately. Okay. So divine, yeah, I figured that out. Um, Tanya, why you asked the question? What have you had anything happening that you felt like it was? And let's see if so. And I'm going to do a four card spread for this one. Well, death card, tower. Wow, don't get those two cards very often. And the hanged man, and then a seven of wands. Yeah, absolutely, Tanya. Three major arcana right in a row, so something big is happening. Um, so your grandmother is protecting you from adversaries of some sort, possibly maybe not physical attacks, but spiritual attacks. So yeah. Um, so a baked good I was reminded of this month. Yeah, and I think the baked good is like, you know, when familiar smells and things like that, like baking, they give us a sense of safety. And so I believe that's why that experience with the baked good gave you a memory or reminded you of her, um, because she is protecting you from some type of spiritual or unseen attacks. There you go. Good one. All right, let me move on. If you have a question you'd like me to do on the cards, put it in there. And meanwhile, I'm going to move on to. I have a couple things I want to talk about. Let's see. Oops. Back to my. Oh yeah. So let me see. I did my checked in on my mother. Oh, so I guess the World Cup happened. Who won? Because I have Spanish heritage. I have no interest in sports, even less interest in soccer, the World Cup. But if you made me, you know, just to participate with my wife partner, I said Spain. I want Spain to win. Um, so does anybody know who won the World Cup? And more importantly, was there an alien abduction? Once again, I don't know how these people make these predictions. So apparently this they called her the Brazilian Nostradamus. Spain won. Go España. Cool. Oh, that reminds me, another thing about my mom's passing, I'm going to do cards on it right now, was the Cuba blackout. I do not think it was a coincidence that my mother's family was from Cuba. Now, I remember the story of my mom being born in Cuba. I think she must not have been born in Cuba because my mother was a natural American citizen. But I think she was born in Key West, which is just 2 hours away, but right away. And then they went to Cuba, or she went to Cuba when she spent time as a child living in Cuba when she was very young, up until she was like 7 years old. She told me she couldn't speak English until she was like 10 or 12 or something like that. So, you guys remember there was a blackout in Cuba the same day my mother passed away. So I want to ask the cards I'll ask my mom, was that her? Did she have anything to do with it, like to send it? Because I took it as a signal from her. Because I asked her, for some type of sign or symbol. Do I have my cards up? Yeah. So I'm really curious about this one. Did my mother cause that blackout in Cuba, or was it just a coincidence? Or maybe she didn't. So what caused the blackout? Or was it a coincidence that was set up by the universe? So still not a coincidence, but not her directly. Okay, anyways. So what caused the blackout in Cuba on the day that my mother passed? Was there a connection there? Well, a Queen of Swords, that would indicate a mother. Wheel of Fortune, Major Arcana. It's like an on and off switch. The Lovers again. and a chariot, which is victory, success. I want to say yes. I mean, the first card indicates yes, especially it's a woman with a sword, and a sword has power. A sword can take action. So, yep, my card, and then we have three major arcana, followed by three major arcana. Um, and she may have been in cahoots with my dad, and it's a way of showing over victory over death, because death is not a real thing. So it was a message, I think, directly to me, because I asked her for some type of sign. So yeah, that's really cool. All right. Seems like more of a prank that my father would do. So seeing the lovers there, um, maybe it was my dad doing it for my mom, because I don't think my mom would appreciate causing a blackout for her people in Spain. I mean, in Cuba, but my dad would think it was funny. So something like that. All right. So yeah, I'm glad I got that one out. It's a shame my family doesn't watch my videos. Okay. So it looks like, how many people have voted on this poll here? Looks like more than 50% of you. It doesn't tell me how many people have voted. Oh, 12 votes. I mean, I know that's not a very large sample, but it kind of fits where I feel on it. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I'm not sure if I've noticed. I need more time, I think. Because I tell you, my days always seem to fly by. Okay, so, before I go on to, what's the other thing? I want to look into Donald Trump calling for the uh, networks to lose their licenses. Oh, MJ had an experience where lights went out at her father's funeral when a woman came in and he did not care for it. Okay. Uh, at my home, when my father passed away, like within, I want to say 5 minutes, but it could have been 30 minutes, but within 5 minutes of, or very shortly after my father passed away, one light in my downstairs bathroom went out. A light that I'd been there for 2 years, that had never gone out before, never had a problem with it. And then it didn't work for exactly 24 hours. Then it started working again and it never went back out. So things like that definitely happen. All right. So what did you guys think about Donald Trump's speech and the networks not carrying it? I was just curious about that. I mean, I know it's very far-fetched. Anything's ever ever going to happen, at least in public view. I know things are happening, have already happened behind the scenes. Um, so I want to. I have another question for the. I like doing these polls. Oh, well, let me draw cards on the whole CERN thing too. Forgot about that. Trying to. I know often I start talking about things here and then I get sidetracked and I forget. So I'm trying to stay on topic. Um, and still more of you, I mean, 58% of you seem to have noticed a change in the perception of time. Once again, four cards. What's causing this change in perception in time? Usually they say just growing older does it, but I've heard that young people have also been reporting this. So it seems to be affecting all ages. So I want to keep it simple. So four cards regarding CERN and the perception of time, world. Oh man, these major arcanas are seem to be stacked up. There's another one, strength. This card represents a portal. So, and I think yes, but I think only for people who are very in touch with their uh, subconscious. Uh, Strength. I mean, with the world card, think about the world. The world turns, supposedly. Um, but the world is like a giant clock. The Ace of Cups could be. So I want to say I think there could be a connection. The other thing about CERN is this big circle, kind of like what we have here represented in the world card, and something, and also aces are something new. So shutting down CERN is somehow good for humanity as well. There's a celebration. They were doing something there that was not good for humanity, and them shutting it down now, even though I know it's part of a planned thing and everything, is somehow good for humanity. Uh, so yeah, and we all know about the rituals that they conducted there and the strange statue of Shiva that's out in front, all these other things. So definitely CERN was not created by good guys for good things. Not that doesn't mean that it can't be used by good guys for good things. Okay. So I'm going to end this poll because it looks like about half the people are have been feeling. You know, the other thing is this Donald Trump speech and the TV networks losing their licenses. So I want to start another poll. Do you think? Start, so will Donald Trump's speech lead to any actions regarding the three major networks? That's yeah. I thought it was only two networks. Do you believe it was NBC? I heard it was NBC and ABC. So I'm just going to limit it to those two. NBC and ABC. I did some research into this, into and MSN. Okay. Oops. I did some research into this using ChatGPT. Whether you like it or not, it's a good source of information on legal stuff, constitutional law, and stuff like that. And ChatGPT doesn't seem to think that there will be any grounds for them to lose their license. But there are some ways it could happen, but very, very unlikely is what ChatGPT says. So, and NBC. Why was CBS lift off? I'm sorry, not. Oh, CBS, ABC, and so what's the other one? CBS, whatever. NBC. So not NBC. Are you sure about that, Tanya? I'm just gonna say any networks. The other thing I heard was Jimmy Kimmel and The View could be in trouble. MSNBC, right? The two those two shows could be in trouble because um, they only have liberals. They only have left leaning guests on their show, and that could be a violation of representation of free speech or something like that. So, do you believe any networks will lose their broadcast license? Forgive me if my spelling is wrong here. Started a new poll, and I don't believe so. I'm going to say no. Oh, it's not letting me vote. I'm not allowed to vote. Okay, so I'm not allowed to vote. Um, but I just think, just like I don't think, well, hello, Lacey Blue. You're the only one here without a badge, unfortunately. I wish there was some way to give you a membership, Lacey Blue. Oh, by the way, do I have any memberships to give away? Let me check that. Membership gifting doesn't look like it. You have 10 gift memberships left to send this month. Oh, I can. Okay. Hey, Lacey, maybe this is your lucky day. Let's do 5 now. It's okay, Lacey. It's cool to be the outsider sometimes. Not that you're an outsider. So let's see. I just gave away 5. Jelly Bean watches my show. Holy cow! So she does these wild, just totally, even for me, nonsensical, you know, videos about things. I'm not saying none of the things that she says are true, but some of the things she says are just too difficult for me to to believe. So, well, Jelly Bean, if and that looks like her picture that I remember. That's pretty cool. Shannon Terra, Mary Ann Sanchez, and Karen Melikian. I don't recognize any of those names, but congratulations. And let me give away 5 more. Send 5 right now. Let's see. Drum roll, please. Deborah Knights, Ham's Kid No Ham's Ham Skidmore or Pam's Kid More. Thankfully, Chris, Chris Stewart, and T Light. All right. Well, did my best. Sorry, Lacey. I tried. I think you still haven't changed your settings to accept the gift. That's why maybe why you never get one. Other than that, I think they're all random. Okay, stay on track, Scott. Don't get distracted by the squirrels. What was the this poll? Do you believe any networks will lose their licenses? Wow, that would be amazing if it was true, and a lot of you think so. Um, can you tell me in the chat how you think that could happen? Why do you think that could happen? Do you know something that I don't know? No. Because that would be huge. I mean, like big time huge. I think no. So I'm in the minority here. But I'm going to ask the cards. Is there a possibility? So let me be more open-ended with my question. These networks that were mentioned, will any of what will they look like in the next year? That's the way I'm going to phrase the question. Four cards, keep it simple. So this is for the networks that were mentioned, or any of them. It's the Empress. She represents wholesomeness, fruitfulness, abundance. So that seems like an odd card. That tells me right there that the networks are not under the control of the cabal anymore, or whatever nefarious groups that were in control of them, that they're being controlled by an overseer of some sort. MJ thinks that the military will take them down. So let's see if we get a card like that. Well, a king of cups, and he likes to keep things under covers, secret. Two of wands and a knight of cups. Well, knights represent military. So MJ may be onto something there that the military will have to do, may have something to do with it. But and a king is a judge, can be a judge, and a two of wands is making plans. So there's a plan in place that involves the military. That's a possibility. But I'm not satisfied, so I want to draw a couple more cards. I'm looking for more definitive. If the newscasters haven't changed, then they are still MK. You mean like MK Ultra? Oh, victory, the sun, victory, and wholesomeness. Then there's a conspiracy, and I gotta draw one more, and then a queen. So it does look like there could be some type of retribution for the networks being taken over, and we have the first card is behind the scenes. There's a group that is in control, and this may come out to be known more widely known in the future. So maybe not being taken off the air, but coming under the control of a more uh, benign group or benefact, yeah, some group that is has human uh, interest at heart. So I know that most of you watching this and voting in the votes are women, and I tend to trust your intuition on things like this. You will have a tribunal by the military. Very possible, MJ, but maybe it won't come out to the public for a while. Right. Now, does anybody out there have any questions for me for the cards? Because I would really love it if you do. I'm just going to let that sit for a while. Well, I really struggled coming up with what I thought was a good topic for today. So I just threw in the old UAP UFO disclosure because a new one came out about 10 days ago, number 4. Uh, so just to give me something to do here while I talk to you guys, I figured I would share and in real time react to the new videos. So I haven't seen any of the new ones except for what I've seen on TV or on just on social media and things that are being shown around. So just gonna have fun with it here. Let me make sure I have it. Oh, I almost forgot. Tina in Australia wanted me to look into something, and I put it on my Telegram. Here, let me share this with you. Oh, I have to unplug my microphone for this. Share and in real time react to the new videos. So I haven't seen any of the new ones except for what I've seen on TV or on just on social media. Sorry about that. Okay. Share. So, share this. Share with sound. I think I've figured out how to do this correctly, so I'm not gonna. Hopefully, you'll no problem.
If you're living in Australia and you haven't heard this, you need to listen. I keep seeing and hearing things about Oz Alert. If you haven't heard about it, basically the Australian government is going to send an alert to every single person's phone on the 27th of July at about 2 p.m. The alert is a loud beeping sound and it will go off regardless of if your phone is on silent mode. Firstly, I don't consent to that. Secondly, how the fuck do they have the capability to make an alert go off on your phone even if it's on silent? That's fucking scary. What I do know is that if you turn your phone off, you won't get the alert. So on the 27th of July, I'll be making sure that my phone is turned off between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. because I don't want to be on whatever fucking tracking radar those mofos are creating.
Hold on. When was the date she gave? 27th of July.
Off between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. because I don't want to be on whatever fucking tracking radar those mofos are creating. I want them to think I'm unreachable, even if it's only momentarily. My intuition says that it's got something to do with the 2030 agenda. It's some sort of preparation for the total control that's coming. Watch this space and we'll see if I was right. If you're living in Australia and you haven't heard this, you need to listen. I keep seeing and hearing things about...
Right? And then for question, Tina said, could you please pull some cards on this, whether it's true? I thought it was, she says, I thought it was in preparation for global EAS. And I agree with that. All right, so it's sharing. Look, my microphone back in. Okay. First off, did you guys hear that? Find the chat again. Lost the chat. There it is. Tanya says she got a lot of EBS. I got an EBS for the first time. I was sitting at a bus station waiting to get on a bus, and a loud alert. It was funny because everybody's phones went off at the same time, and for a split second, I was like, "Holy shit!" And I'm not. I'm like half hour from home or whatever, and I hope nothing's gonna happen while I'm out here in Bangkok waiting to get home. Uh, but Tina wanted, and Tina says, like, first off, that video was fear mongering. And what do I always say? Now, I mean, I don't get touched by fear anymore. Even though a couple of weeks ago I went through a period of trepidation where I just felt like the whole world was going to blow up. But anytime you see something like this that's trying to touch on your fear response, first thing you got to do is say, nope, bullshit. I'm not going to fall for it. I reject your fear mongering. So just the fact that it's a video trying to instill fear right there, no, nothing's going to happen. But let's ask the cards. Yeah, you couldn't hear me before, MJ, because I have to turn off my micro. I have to unplug my microphone when I play a video. Or if, I don't if she's Tanya says she could have been paid, or if she's just an influencer. It's that this is the way that influencers get more views. I mean, my channel has always been about positivity and optimism, and that's why I never got more than 10,000 or 11,000 subscribers. And because I'm not a sensationalist, I don't sensationalize things. And yes, every time there's a date given, nothing happens. I've been saying that long before you guys knew me. It's something I learned from when I used to study Bible prophecy. That's something that goes back in tradition in Christian Christian offshoots like Seventh Day Adventists and Quakers and people like that. They've learned the hard way that you cannot say when something's going to happen on a particular day. It's God's timing only. Yeah, I think it's funny too that she says just turn it off. I think if they wanted to, they could turn your phone back on. The earthquake thing is the only thing I worry about living south of Seattle, and you should be. That's something I was thinking about talking about today because they're ringing the alarm bells about the San Andreas, which you're up there. Are you near the coast, uh, Lacey? Yeah, they're definitely, and I heard there was a pretty big one in Yellowstone, which if Yellowstone goes, doesn't matter pretty much. The only place you'd be safe is Australia or New Zealand, I think, if Yellowstone goes off. But stay on topic, Scott. And I'm going to record this because Tina is sleeping right now. So I'm recording this just for you, Tina. I'm going to send it to you so you don't have to search through the live stream to find it. The 27th of July should you have be worried? I agree with you, Tina, that this is part of testing the EBS or the EAS, like when they did in Thailand for the first time. I've lived here 22 years. Well, guess I only had a smartphone for the past 10 years or so. But still, I've never seen any emergency alerts anywhere on radio, TV, nothing in Thailand. And we did our first one a while back. So, um, what's the deal with this the video and the alert? This for you, Tina? Once again, big questions, simple spreads. So four cards. Oh no. That five of wands. This is meant to sow uh discord and ooh, that's upside down. It's interesting. So we may be closer to the EBS, and that's an EBS card right there. And when it does happen, it's going to be coming from uh, the protectors of the Earth. In other words, the Alliance, the White Hats. And it could be happening really soon, by the way, with this Hangman coming up upside down. That card got itself turned around recently because it came up recently, and I put it back in right side up, I thought. So the fact that the Hangman, which is a card of waiting and drawing things out in an uncomfortable way over a long period of time, um, this is telling me that the EBS is coming soon, and that video was trying to disrupt people from getting it, if anything. Ooh, wouldn't it be great if it happened on the 27th? So, Tina, no, nothing to be worried about. Don't turn your phone off. In fact, keep your phone on because when it does happen, you want to make sure you can get it. I don't think it'll matter if your phone's on and off. I think it'll any electronic device you have that's connected to the internet or to cable or digital antenna or whatever it is going to be getting that message. You'd have to be living on a desert island with no electronics to not get it. All right, so let me end that recording. I'm going to send that to Tina. I appreciate that, Tina. Gives me something to talk about here. Oh, and Lacy Blue, you you know, it may be another 1,000 years before an earthquake strikes the West Coast, but I wouldn't take the chance. If I were you, I would get the hell away from Puget Sound. Get up to at least 200 feet above the ocean because the tsunami that comes from that thing is going to be massive. So I would be getting away from there if I were you. Okay. And Sandy says, I've been getting these alerts, tests, etc. from my employer. Oh, do you want to tell us who your employer is? I mean, I know basically who, but do you want to tell everybody? Because it's pretty important. Okay, you say part of the government. Yeah, so maybe Sandy doesn't want to say exactly who she works for, but she works for governmental agencies that control something that's very important. So it's interesting. There you go. Nav Canada. That's like air traffic type of stuff. Thank you for telling us, Sandy. Did I talk about all the things? Okay, so is it time? You guys want to watch some UFO videos? And I'm going to play them without sound so that I can talk over them. Before I switch topics and start watching some UFO videos. By the way, I'm disappointed by the release of these videos, but not surprised at my disappointment. I was also disappointed with the Steven Spielberg film. Um, all of this, none of this is for the people like me who have been believers that we're not alone. I have been a believer since I was 12, except for a few years of what I thought was enlightenment when I was, in my early or late teens and early 20s, when I thought I was smarter than the conspiracy theorists. But then later, I've had my own experiences. I've had encounters. One with what I believe were um, black black ops, or the TR-3B, which is a retro engineered craft that's owned by the government. But I also saw a massive triangle that was probably half mile per side above the monument that's near where I live, which is a giant, like a giant pyramid thing that's 700 years old. Who knows what's in there? Okay, let's do it. UFO time. Okay. Thanks for reminding me. I'm going to end this poll. Thank you guys for participating. Okay. Let's look at some videos. Share my screen. First, let me pull this up. Share. I'm going to share without sound this time, so I don't lose my microphone. All right. So I have not looked at any of these videos. Let's just go in order. Start. Well, actually, some may be too big. We'll just click. See what. First one. There's no description. And I'm looking at the chat. You problem if you have any problems seeing these, tell me what you think as we watch. First off, I don't see anything. Is it playing? Okay, so we're looking over the water. Um, oh, right there, something in the screen comes down. The shape is kind of bumpy, almost like there's appendages coming off of it. It seems to be changing shape, morphing. This is a 3-minute video, so I want to skip it. This kind of looks like the jellyfish, which I find to be one of the most fascinating of the UAPs, and they're relatively new to me. Oh, that one, there's a pretty good close-up of it. I mean, to me, this doesn't look like technology. It looks like an entity. I mean, it looks like a living creature, but it doesn't look like a craft. Can't no sense of size. Used to be over Arctic or Antarctic, because it looks like chunks of ice. Yeah, those are definitely icebergs. So this could be in the Antarctic. Okay, so that was video one. And I'm just going to run through these. What's this? Is that looking into the sky? Or is this more ice on the water? Oh, wow. Oh, well, no, I thought we were looking at something. So this is very faint. There's a very faint smudge here. Oh, it's like a line of many objects. Oh, back up for a second. Here, let's get a better view. The line of light, it's like a string of, of things. It's like, what the hell could it be? You know? Once again, is this a group of orbs all flying in unison? Definitely not birds. I'm with the head a little bit here. Looks like an eyebrow. But okay, no explanation for that one. I want to say intelligent entity. All right, close this one. Hey, I appreciate you hanging out with me. Those of you who are still here, I wanted to look at these, and I'd rather watch them with you guys than by myself. I still think for me the most fascinating one was the snowflake or star-shaped entity that I believe was a disembodied archon that had been separated from its like maybe exercised or cast out of its body. That one wasn't very interesting, and was being cast out of our reality. All right, move on to the next one here. Play. This is a 1 minute video. This looks like the same one we just saw before, just more of the same. I'm hoping we get a good one of one of the jellyfish looking things. So, do you guys know what I mean when I talk about the jellyfish UAPs? And recently there was a pilot that was shot down who said that there were swarms of them around him. I think he may have said that they were responsible for taking him down, and he said real alien shit. Um, seemed to this one seemed to like break into three parts and then come back together again. It's interesting that the plane that's chasing it, they can't catch these things. They seem to be trying to close in on them and unable to. This next one's really short. Something zipping past the screen there. All right. Well, that one was not real interesting. Oh, another star UAP. And this one looks different. The first one, if you remember, had 8 visible points. This one has 6. And this, okay. Now this, just, it's By the way, these shapes, this and the other one, they correspond to platonic solids. The first one that I did the reading on CIA, I believe, because the CIA logo looks like it, was a icosahedron or a 20-sided. I believe it had 20 points. This one with the six could be a dodecahedron, which would, I believe, in the realm of the good guys. And there's something about, notice how this one's not zipping around frantically like the 20 pointed one was, or the eight pointed, I believe, was a 20, actually had 20 points. This one, I believe, if you could see it in 3D, would have 12, which I associate with good guys. So that was interesting. What do you guys think about those? And if you don't know about let's look them up. Okay, what are we looking at here? Something. Oh, wow, that happened fast. So we're looking at the grounds, probably a predator drone of some sort. Looking at a target on the ground, and then two things happen. First, something really big comes across this way, and then a smaller one shoots down this way. I'm gonna see if I can freeze frame it, catch it. Oh, and there's a red, like a red spot in the middle of it. Oh, can I slow this down? I would have to download this and then slow it down to be able to think. Let me see. Oh, it's just coming into frame right there. I almost got it. Let me try that again. Oh, gotta wait a little longer. I caught it here. So when it's down here, you can see there's a redness to it. There's a point in the front and a point in the back, and then this it's obscured in the middle here. And then right after comes, it almost looks like two things are fighting. Well, hard to make out, but interesting. Moving on. This is a 4-minute video, so let's jump around a little bit. Okay, there's our target up there. And there seems to be something hanging down from it. So this one kind of has that jellyfish appearance. There's a blob at the top and then something hanging down. That's why they refer to them as jellyfish. But yeah, I'm really curious. It seems like these plasmoid entities that they've been talking about are making a bigger appearance lately. I mean, that's just strange. I mean, with cigar shapes and saucer shapes and things like that, you can say, okay, these could be some kind of craft. They could be piloted by humans or non-humans. But things like this, oh, we've got a pretty good close up here. It almost seems to be like two balls tethered together. Jumps ahead a little bit here. It's a strange transition there. What are we looking at? tops of clouds. All right. Well, let's move on from this one. There's not much there. Then I want something. There is one supposed to be one video here that's really cool looking. This is not it. It happened so fast. Okay. Boring. Next. Oh, zipped off. Now this one looks like a craft. Almost got kind of a saucer shape to it. It's moving really fast. Like the Jupiter 2. Who remembers the Jupiter 2 Lost in Space? Loved that show. All right, what are we looking at here? It's like an egg shape. All right, not the one I'm looking for. I guess they always take the very most photogenic ones and put those on the internet or on TV first. And then I like it when they put it in Chat GPT and get it um, like up or what they think is clear. Oh, so this is an audio clip. It's an hour and a half. That should have known when I saw the how many was. Okay, something I'll come back and maybe listen to later. I mean, some of these. Well, oh wow. Now that would scare the piss out of me if I was a pilot. This, I mean, this is like, look how close this thing comes to him. Phew, man, that would, I have to admit, as if you were a pilot and you saw that, that would freak you out. And there it is. Look like an egg. Mork from Mork. Nanu Nanu. Okay. What do we got here? Another audio recording. Yeah, I need to skip the big ones. I mean, there was a time when if a pilot talked about this stuff, they would lose their career. So it's pretty cool to see that they're finally coming out. By the way, if you talk to a pilot off the record, he'll also tell you that the Earth is flat. A lot of them. Wait, get a better picture of that, better view of that. Wow, see how it's growing there? That means it's coming directly amoeba. Yeah, that would freak me out if I were a pilot. Yeah, but this is what's disappointing. They're all just distant, blurry points of light, most of them, or globules of something. They've got to have better up close pictures, right? Let's see those. That's what I want. Skip these two big ones. That looks like the surface of the moon at first. Whoa, that's hard bank. But I didn't see what we were supposed to be looking at here. It looks like this is a jet interceptor trying to pursue. Look at this maneuver he makes. So it's this is it slowed down, I think. Where's the object? He's chasing. Oh, there it is. Two two things. Then so they go zipping to his left, and he turns left, and then pulls back on the stick, and he's probably pulling like 7 or 8 G's here, trying to keep up with it. With them, looks like there were two of them. These black boxes are all redacted data, like altitude, speed, things like that. Maybe position. Zooming in on something right there. Look how these things seem to be like connected. I'll pause it there. It almost looks like there's a connection between these two things. Seems like they always leave the most interesting ones for these releases. I've never seen one where they actually fired upon any of these. Like, this looks like a lock. Looks like he's got a lock on it with this targeting system. So if he were to squeeze this trigger right now and send a hellfire at it, he could maybe not hit it, but try. But yeah, got a couple more here. So fast. Still not very interesting. Um, only got two left, so I don't know if the one I'm was talking about is even fast. There, oh, there it is. See, they leap for last. So this is a weird looking thing. There's better pictures of it, better view of it than this, I know. Maybe in the next video. But this thing definitely looks like it is a made craft closet right there. So I heard one guy talking about how it looked like this is a drop ship down here. Like this would be an orbiter, and then they have something else that they can come in and drop a release from the mothership. But there's a kind of a funny video or a funny like recreation. Somebody took this and put it in Chat GPT, and it looks like Mustafa from what is it, Lion King. Kind of looks like a warthog. one could be a balloon, but a balloon wouldn't have so many appendages and stuff. And like a parade float that got away, or character or something. And the last one, I think it'll probably be the same thing. Maybe enhanced or something. No, another blob. And that's about it. All right. Well, that's all we got for today, folks. I don't know if we're ever going to get a satisfying proof. Yeah, Tanya, I think I answered that. Why they block out areas. It's sensitive information about the craft or where they are and things like that. I want to catch up on your chat here. So, time is it? Yeah, another one is Obama ever going to be held responsible for his crimes? There was definitely a plot to destroy the country. If Hillary had gotten in 2016, it would have been the end of America for sure. Oh, Serena, you never heard of the jellyfish UAPs? Look it up. It's one of the most fascinating UAPs there are, along with the plasmoids that this guy David Grush is saying is some type of intelligent entity. Okay, Tanya says, I knew DJT was the chosen one when I watched an interview with him in 2016. I love The Apprentice and Celeb Apprentice. You know, it's funny. I used to hate Donald Trump, not because of politics. Back in the 80s, um, when he was really starting to become popular among some people, and I dated a Jewish woman, and her father was a contractor, and he loved Donald Trump, believe it or not, uh, because he was a successful builder, businessman, and he was all about money. And I didn't make much money. I had a dead end job, and I was in love, and I wanted to marry this woman and help her raise her child that was from another man, and I don't think he approved of me because I didn't make much money, and he idolized Donald Trump. So for that reason, I hated Donald Trump because he was everything that I wasn't, couldn't be, and that's what her father looked up to, and I could never reach that. So it wasn't until I watched The Apprentice for the first time. I wasn't a big fan. I didn't watch all of it, but I watched a few shows, and I thought, wow, this guy is funny. He's smart. He's fair. I liked the tough way he handled people on the show. Um, and I developed a respect and a fondness for Donald Trump then. When I heard he was running for office, it didn't faze me. I thought, well, okay, he's just going to be another politician. I didn't trust. I gave up on politics a long time ago after the 2000 election, where I voted for Gore, and there was this obvious. I mean, if you guys still trusted elections after 2000, you're fools, okay? Because I was in Florida. I know for a fact that they were um, disenfranchising people of their votes and the hanging chad and all that bullshit. I knew it was bullshit. I decided I would never vote again after that. Um, but you know what got me uh what changed my mind was a video by a guy by oh shit, I had his name just in my head a second ago. The plot to save the world or the plan to save the world. It was something like that. God damn it, I just had that guy's name in my head. Anyways, you guys probably know what I'm talking about. When I watched that video, and it doesn't mention Q, but it was about the whole Q thing starting up. I got goosebumps. I'm like, wow, this is it. This is for real. Can't remember the name of that guy. Who remembers the name of the guy who made the video? I think Tina sent it to me recently on Telegram. If I have it, I'm gonna find it and play it for you guys because this was in 2017 that I first saw this video. I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna see if I can find. Tina sent it to me. Let's see videos. See it there. Must maybe it was a link. Was it one? It might be this one. That's it's got no sound. Hmm. So it must have been a link. Photos, videos, files. All right, no, I don't see it here. Joe M. That's what it was. Joe M. Oh, here we go. Links. 23 links. LS. Whiplash. Transition. Stages set. Michael Jackson. Australia. Seeing it here. I know she sent it to me. I would love to share it with you because maybe if some of you never seen it before. If anybody has that video that can send it to me on Telegram. Oh, here it is. I found it. Plan to save the world. Where'd it go? Plan to save the world by Joe M. I found something. Where's the video? Is this it? Open this link. Open. Sandy, go out. There you go. Let yourself out. Nope, that's not it. Gosh darn it. You're still watching? I really appreciate you hanging in here with me. Please like and share this video. If you could help out with a super chat or a super sticker, you would really be helping me out a lot because I'm falling short this month of the $100 minimum that I need to get paid this month. So even just like a $2 super chat would help. I hate having to ask for donations like this, but it's not easy to make this channel profitable. Let me see. Plan to save. Search here, see if I can find it. Yeah. Why is it not playing? There it is. Okay. Got it. So it's kind of a long video, but I think I might just play it for you and bye. I'm gonna do that. Let me close this up here. 17 of us. Cool. Okay. So I'm gonna first off, let me do a poll. Gotta end one poll. Start a poll. Okay. Joe M. Well, thank you, dear Cherie. By the way, Cherie, I've been meaning to call you. I want to see how you're doing. And everybody out there, could you send Cherie some prayers for her health? She's dealing with some things, nothing serious, and I don't want to go into specifics, but we all have our struggles, but Cherie could use some prayers right now. So if you could send some prayers of health to Cherie. All right, I'm going to start this poll. So this is a little bit longer video, but I want to play the whole thing for you. If you've never seen it, and if you are an optimist and believe that Donald Trump is working with the White Hats to save the world, like I do, then, by the way, I would have asked that for you, Shuri, whether or not you sent the super sticker. It just reminded me. I was planning to do that. Um, okay, so let me play this video. Let me find it. Where is it? Is that it? No. Be hard to find things on this sometimes. Thought I just brought it up here. Here, okay, I got it. To find my Zoom. Share with sound. Okay, I'm gonna turn off my microphone during this. So I'll come back and get some comments from you guys after. But if you're still here, staying up late with me, I appreciate you. And let's enjoy this video. If you've never seen this, you're in for a treat. And
Have you ever wondered why we go to war? Or why you never seem to be able to get out of debt? Why there is poverty, division, and crime? What if I told you there was a reason for it all? What if I told you it was done on purpose?
Why do I always... Hold on. Okay, I changed my... Oh, that's because I had my... I forgot to unplug my microphone. Okay, let me try again. All right. So I unplugged my microphone. I'm going to get it to work this time, guys. Share. Where's the share button? Okay.
Have you ever wondered why we go to war? Or why you never seem to be able to get out of debt? Why there is poverty, division, and crime? What if I told you there was a reason for it all? What if I told you it was done on purpose? What if I told you that those who were corrupting the world, poisoning our food, and igniting conflict were themselves about to be permanently eradicated from the earth? You might think that an idealistic fantasy. Well, let me tell you a story. We acknowledge there are criminals, of course. They rob your house, they steal your phone. They can murder you too if they think they can get away with it. We have all experienced criminals in one way or another. Criminals, as we know, are those who choose personal gain over the rights of others and have no regard for the law. But here is where you need to expand your thinking. Criminals can also succeed in business and politics, and can be elected as our leaders. If a criminal became the president, imagine what they could achieve. They could use the full weight of their executive power to commit much larger crimes, and ensure they and their friends were enriched to the fullest extent possible. A criminal president could create alliances with other criminal presidents, and then collaborate on more global criminal activities. Anything goes. Drug running, human trafficking, whatever makes the big bucks. The 20th century was turbulent with war, economic disaster, famines, and displacement. We have always accepted these things as just human nature, and simply the way the world works, something inevitable, and due to the weaknesses of human nature that drive us to these actions. This is where we're all tragically wrong. You are not a criminal. I'm not a criminal. So how can we just assume that it is human nature that is driving all this pain and misery? What if it wasn't human nature at all, and as a result of something more deliberate? We were taught that capitalism was the cause of a massive rich-poor divide and the reason for poverty, which in turn is the reason for war, crime, and starvation. Others were taught that communism, the system of equal wealth across all people, was really to blame for the mess. But you see, folks, it is none of these things. It is not our nature to fight and be racist. It is not in our nature to rob from others. What you must learn is that it was the criminals all along. Yes, they got power. More power than a criminal should ever have. They rose to the top of media companies that control our news and entertainment. They ascended to the top of the banking system, also to the Oval Office, to Brussels, to the Vatican, to the Crown. They crept in quietly. They became leaders of agricultural companies who have control over our food supply. Also big pharmaceutical companies, the ones we trust to help us when we're sick. Nobody stopped them, and they just recruited more criminals to help them. First, they accumulated the world's wealth. They invented a system of money called central banking, which lends money to governments with interest, placing countries into eternal debt. People's wealth got less. Their wealth got more. Much more. When a criminal is already as rich as they can get, then protecting their ill-gotten gains becomes the priority. Angry citizens tired of being poor are a major obstacle and can revolt if they suffer enough. The criminals needed to prevent this, so they diverted attention to the last remaining competitor, the people of the world. You and me. We were not happy being ruled by criminals and having to work 3 jobs just to survive. They know we won't accept it, so they use their control of the media to set black against white, woman against man, young against old, Muslim against Christian. They convinced us we were the problem, so that we would fight and destroy ourselves. To get it done faster, they attacked all aspects of humanity that make us strong. Like family. Using their influence over culture, they popularized lifestyle choices that led to a surge in broken homes, lost youth, and substance abuse. I could talk all day about how else they deliberately weakened us, and it would turn your stomach. We were just trying to get on with living. So where are all the good guys? Good people just want to get married, have kids, make a living, and enjoy their living. Well, there were good guys. Many. One became the President of the United States in January 1961. He knew about these criminals and wanted them gone. He knew their intentions and he wanted to fight them. Sadly, he had no idea how powerful they had become. Reagan also had some intentions for the American people. He knew the criminal mafia controlled almost everything by the stage, including the powerful rogue intelligence agencies. His economic policies were promising, but the criminals needed a weak America to hold on to their power. Reagan was shown with a bullet that a growing U.S. economy and prosperous citizens were not what the criminals wanted. It was looking pretty grim for good people. Every time someone wanted to stand up and do the right thing, they got stopped. Were we ever to be freed? These criminals are also known as the deep state, or cabal, because of how they control things behind the scenes. Every president after Reagan was one of these deep state criminals, and their empire got even stronger. With each bad president came new deaths America and the world would see. The world collapsed into darkness. Do you need me to tell you how? Destroyed factories, declining job numbers, sicker people, opioids, destruction of Iraq, Syria, Yemen with pointless war, displacement of people in Europe, ISIS, terrorism, collapsed governments, poverty, and genocide. Total misery. Do you think that was inevitable? Hell no. Well, here's where things start to take a new turn. When the full picture comes to be known, it will forever be regarded as the greatest story ever told. Well, here's the top line. Some good people still held positions of power. They valued humanity and the rule of law. While the criminals discussed their game plan at the annual Bilderberg meetings, the good guys were making plans of their own. The information age was coming to change history forever. As the internet flooded into every home, and appliances became smarter, and when people started carrying tracking devices, an opportunity to put an end to criminal control over the world was emerging. We became connected, trackable, and surveilled. But so did they. They became dependent, just like we did, on email, SMS, instant communication. It made crime much easier, but it also put them on a grid that, if accessed by the right people, would expose their crimes to the public and end their iron grip on us once and for all. In this new age of information, it was thought that the military should also have its own intelligence agency to focus on cybercrime and espionage. They called this the NSA, the National Security Agency. Here we had every phone call, email, and text from every device stored and archived. Whether it be someone making an disappointment or the deep state setting up a massive heroin purchase from the Taliban. In the right hands, it would be enough information to expose the entire sinister criminal plot to rub us blind and wipe us out. Hold that thought. Now I need to explain the plan. The good guys were devising a plan to reclaim the world from the cabal and return it to the people. It would involve alliances with multiple countries, since the criminals had global rat lines, trade, and other infrastructure in place that would need their cooperation. It came down to two choices for America. Launch a military coup to seize the government from whichever cabal puppet was in the White House at the time. Or win legitimately, take control of the NSA, expose the criminals for what they are, and arrest them all. Obviously, the first option would be very troubling for the public. with people still preoccupied with cabal engineers, social issues, they would likely get lost and hurt themselves and others. No, it would have to be the latter. So they needed a candidate who could win, and who could win big. Many states like California had been so heavily inundated by criminals that even the voting machines were electronically set up to swing votes any which way. It would need to be a very decisive victory. Good patriots in the U.S. military and their global partners asked Trump to run for president so he could take back control of America legitimately without alarming the public. Trump was a good choice, obviously, because he overcame a vote for our. But he was a patriot and he was admired by the public. He was not interested in joining the cabal because they hated America and he did not agree with them on that point. As soon as he showed interest in taking power, they activated their media assets to viciously turn him. That's when we saw the sudden hatred emerge. Even when he won, the cabal still had no idea what he was a part of, and the sophisticated plan that was about to unfold against them. Shocked as I was, they mobilized their full arsenal of intelligence, media, money, and technology to try and take back power. There were people at the top of the DOJ and FBI that put together a plan to frame Trump and have him impeached. This is where we come back to the NSA again. All messages were stored and could be used to expose the squad and prevent Trump's overthrow. An entire book will be written about the first 2 years of Trump's presidency, false flag terror attacks, down planes, missile alerts, assassination attempts. Here's the point. The world is currently experiencing a dramatic overlord of biblical proportions, literally the fight for Earth, between the forces of good and evil. I can't put it in simpler terms, but I can say it appears the good guys are winning. The cabal had complete control over North Korea. They hijacked the Kim dynasty, took them hostage, and worked to build up a nuclear arsenal to threaten the world. Kim Jong-un suddenly embracing peace was simply because the deep state were beaten and driven out. ISIS was also destroyed for Trump's win. We are all starting to see now that enough time has passed, that our biggest global concerns are starting to recede, and peace is returning. It is all evidence that the good guys are winning the war. But we are still in the middle. While a lot is improving, it still puzzles many that most of these known criminals are still free, especially the higher-ups like Hillary Clinton, the Bushes, and Obama. That is coming in the next chapter of the story. That's why we have Q. The good guys with control over the NSA began the Q intelligence dissemination program to develop an online grassroots movement that came to be called the Great Awakening. It started around the internet channels and moved to the mainstream. Q has been a distraction for those who follow world events as truth, but it is about to begin a much more important and necessary phase, keeping the public informed when the deep state war breaks out to the surface. By this, I mean high-profile arrests. Yes, folks, the criminals I'm referring to are famous politicians, actors, singers, CEOs, and celebrities. People who have earned our trust, respect, and admiration. They have done very bad things that are all fully known and documented, and they will be severely punished. Those of us who have followed Q since the beginning will be here to help you make sense of the coming events. We are among the first to realize now petty partisan divisions are just trivial distractions, and we are all enslaved by a hidden enemy. We realized that the problem was never capitalism or socialism, Democrat or Republican, black or white, Muslim or Christian. We know it was just very powerful criminals who had too much power. Fellow slaves, it's time to buckle your seatbelt, recognize your true enemy, and embrace a new future that we all owe to the brave patriots who risk their lives to achieve this victory against the greatest force of evil the world has ever known. May God bless America.
All right. So some of you have never seen that before. And the question now is, do you still trust the plan? I do. However, I don't trust everything that comes out of Q because one of the first things that Q told us was disinformation is necessary. Like when Phil Godlewski was telling us that there would be no election in 2020. Okay, MJ, never saw it. Awesome, yeah. I have to tell you, in 2017, I was in a very low place in my life. I had to leave Thailand because of things out of my control. I had to spend 1 year out of Thailand, away from my home. Thank God, Nina, my partner, who I'd only just met recently, took care of my house. I didn't have money to pay my rent. I don't know how she came up with the money because I know she doesn't have much money. She paid my rent. She paid my electric. She kept my pets alive. Anyways, I first went to Laos. I spent 6 months in Laos, and then I was in Vietnam for 6 months. So I guess it was actually 2018 because I was in Vietnam at the time, and I had given up all hope on any type of political or mainstream answer to the the dilemma of the cabal being in control of the world. I thought it was going to come all come down to some type of spiritual ascension, that it was all going to be spiritual and nothing to do with military. In fact, I've never been a fan of the military. Sorry to those of you like Sandy who are ex-military. I've always been anti-war, anti-military. Uh, I I've I always thought it was foolish to join up with the military. Um, but no, Tanya, he meant there was going to be an election. Anyways, let me stay on track. So I just give it, and I had retreated into myself. I was totally cut off from friends and family. I had no friends. So when I saw that video, that Joe M video, it struck a chord with me, and I got excited. I got shaky. I got sweaty, and I thought, wow, this maybe this is true. And that's when I did a deep dive into Q, but not Q the JFK Donald Trump, recent uh, uh, manifestation of Q. But I looked into Q going all the way back to um, the Egyptian uh, Empire, because that connection with Pepe the Frog refers to a an Egyptian god named Kek, Kek. That's what that really means. And I found out that this is oh, here's one of the things that really just put me over the edge. That Q is real, and this is really happening. I'm going to play it for you right now. I have to find it on YouTube. And if you've never seen this, this could possibly blow your mind. Probably going to get demonetized for these videos I'm showing, but that's okay. My last live video at current right now, as of right now, earned $2 from ads. Yes, you're right, Tanya. Q numerologically is the name of God. Correct. Good job. So I want to show you this. There's a disco song that I'd never heard of before. That came out in, I want to say, the 70s, called Voice of Q. All right. You guys are going to love this. This is a 3-minute song. Came out in 1982, and you got to listen to the lyrics of this song. Is going to If you've never heard this one, it's going to blow your mind. Okay, so I have to unplug my microphone. And then it just repeats. But one thing you have to understand about the whole Q thing, it's not just military, it's not just another deep state government, it's not just human beings, and it's not just in the physical. This is connected to cosmic cycles. And this is why the two of the sayings from Q is nothing can stop what's coming. That's because this is a cosmic event. It has to do with uh, the Earth's alignment to the galactic center and um, cosmic cycles that happen in certain um, sequences, like the Kali Yuga and the Mayan calendar and things like this. This is why this was always going to happen. Nothing can stop it. And the other one is where we go one, we go all, because we are all connected. We are all part of the one creation. There's a unity consciousness. You cannot hurt others without hurting yourself, and you can't do anything to help yourself without helping others. So I'm not a Q person, right? I don't follow drops and I don't do decodes and all that stuff. But I know that this Q is connected to something real and that this is really happening. And we've got so many confirmations of it. And the only thing that we can do is remain in a positive vibrational state to bring this on faster. Because yes, there is a cosmic timing to it, but our vibration is what's driving this to human consciousness. So that's why I'm glad I got out of that funk that I was in. And there could be a global catastrophe that ends all life on Earth instantaneously, but it's not a negative thing. In the same way I look at as death is not a negative thing. All right. So I'm gonna end this video today. I know this was a long one. I'm feeling really good now. I hate to say it, but ever since my mother passed away, I just feel fantastic. I don't know if she's sending me energy from the other side, or maybe it was just that, going through the long process of your mother getting sick and finally passing away. That's been like a release. I know I talked to my sister. I mean, for her, the weight of responsibility was greater than anybody. So, anyways, guys, I want to thank you for being here. And yeah, I know that most of you can't stay up late to watch this. I hope you watch the replay. Thank you to Cherie for the super chat. I really appreciate it. And thank you, MJ, for your compliment. Quantum, yes. Oh, that reminds me of another thing. Don't be afraid of AI and the data centers. That's necessary to bring us into this new world that we're going to be living in. Well, they're a good thing. Um, Humanity is going to be freed from the mundane tasks of life so that we can increase our knowledge of philosophy and art and getting a closer connection with nature because we don't have to spend 40 hours of our day a week and or of our week anymore just to survive or more. I'm sure many of you work more than 40 hours a week now. uh yeah, the maybe the CERN thing was having an effect on me too. So anyways, thank you all very much for being here, and thank you for the positive energy that's coming from you guys because that helps me as well. And God bless and good night. And I will see you guys next week, I hope. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. Love you guys. Couldn't do it without you. This was a long one, 2 hours 18. And sorry for members, I didn't give you anything special for your memberships, but I want you to know that your memberships are amazingly appreciated. I mean, really, I probably wouldn't put any time and effort into this if it wasn't for my members, just because I don't get views other than that, really, you know. This channel is not a big popular channel. Okay, good night and sweet dreams and have a great week, and I hopefully I'll see you next week. Bye bye.